Yeah, yeah. All right, we're gonna move on over here to you. We're gonna talk about you real quick, my man. Legends, CFS. You said is Legends Crematory
Now,
Funerals.
cemetery, cremation, funeral, cemetery services. So you got cremation, cemetery, funeral services.
Okay.
All three areas of death care, which is all of death care. But that's what legend is, living legend. Each person on planet Earth is a living legend, whether they know it or not, because we're all uniquely different. We're all individuals, and we all should be celebrating each of our lives because no one's more important than anyone else. So I like to make sure that everyone is a living legend. And whatever way people want to celebrate their life, we allow them to go ahead and celebrate their life because that's what they would like to do.
I like it. Okay. So where would you like me to start off? You sent me some material that you would like to share with the audience, and this is all digital because the thing is, you can have conversations with people, right? But the difference with all of it being with it just having a conversation, now they have to fill out forms that can be boring, and now people live in a cell phone or a digital age. Tell them a little bit about what you're talking about. Tell me where you want me to go, and I'll
So,
pull up
so
whatever you
just
need.
we're going to start with the PowerPoint. I'm going to share with them exactly what we do in the arrangement conference of when we're gathering information. So if you just pull up the PowerPoint, we'll go through the PowerPoint and then we'll show a little video and then I'll go over the planning guide. So what this is, go back one page here, go back one page and go to that's you flying through it, man. I can't speak that fast.
I think it automatically. I think it automatically does it. Let me see if I can slow it down a little bit. But can you just talk while I go from there?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah. So one of the things that we do, the first thing we have is called the arrangement conference. And with the arrangement conference is right here, the family profile. It allows a family to give us all the necessary information that's necessary to gather all the information and facts that families need, that we need also to prepare this person for their arrangements. That arrangement conference is very important because we get to decide that arrangement conference, the children, the next of kin, and how they want to celebrate the life of their family member or themselves, especially when they're doing advanced planning. So that's very important there. And then we go right into, you could play the video now, and I think the video would give us a lot more clarity, and they'll see and understand when they hear the video of exactly how we categorize and organize everything for our families.
Sounds good.
So this video, I set it up for you.
You plan
You guys,
ahead for vacation,
there you go.
retirement, holidays, even dinner.
Taking the time to think about what's ahead makes life simpler and allows you to do things your way. So why shouldn't the celebration of your life be the same?
Planning ahead for the day you're gone gives you time to personalize your funeral arrangements to reflect the events in your life that meant the most to you.
Plus, it relieves your loved ones of making tough decisions under difficult circumstances.
In the next few minutes, we'll explain what pre-planning choices are available and answer some of the most commonly asked questions about pre-arrangement.
So let's begin with this. Why should I plan my funeral now? Rarely can you predict when your life will end. Your surviving loved ones will be left to cope with the grief of losing your companionship. But they'll also have a lot of tough decisions to make in a very short period of time. And they'll most likely agonize over what you would have wanted. Pre-planning allows you the opportunity to make those decisions ahead of time, limiting the stress on your loved ones. They'll be able to cherish the past and not dwell in the present. It gives them greater opportunity to celebrate the life you've lived. Pre-planning also has financial benefits. Many pre-planning programs or policies allow you to set aside funds for future use. As with all service and product costs, funeral prices inflate over time. The sooner you plan, the less it will cost down the road. It also gives you peace of mind in knowing that your loved ones won't endure the burden of paying the expenses of your funeral.
Another commonly asked question is, what exactly does a funeral include? A funeral is more than just a service. Some of the related events that can accompany a service are a visitation or wake, a procession after the formal service, and a ritual for the disposition of remains. By pre-planning, you can make choices about the funeral arrangements to shape a parting message that reflects who you are. And those close to you will appreciate the opportunity to pay tribute to you and celebrate your life. A funeral can also involve a gathering after the ceremony, and sometimes a memorial service later in another location. There are a lot of decisions to make. Imagine how much easier the choices will be for you to make now, rather than your grieving loved ones having to make them after you're gone.
Once you've decided pre-planning makes sense, the next question is, where do I begin? Pre-planning takes some serious thought and preparation. National Guardian Life Insurance Company, an industry leader in pre-planning, offers an easy-to-use pre-planning booklet that walks you through each step of the process. There are no hidden obligations. Just fill in the blanks and take it to the funeral director of your choice.
If you've chosen to pre-plan, it's clear you value your loved one's feelings. So what would they think of your choice? While each situation is different, we suggest an honest and open discussion with your loved ones. Most adults will understand your effort as a means to relieve their future financial and emotional burdens.
Once you've made the decision to pre-plan and have chosen a funeral director, it's time to have your pre-planning conference.
The first thing you'll want to cover is services. Where? A house of worship, a funeral home, a family home, or other.
When? Taking into consideration religious doctrine and travel time for family and friends. You will also have to set hours for visitation or wake.
Who? Who will be asked to conduct or take part in your service? You may also want to think about personal touches, such as your favorite music to be played or readings to be read.
You may even want to leave a lasting memory of a hobby you loved. These choices are your opportunity to be remembered the way you want to be remembered.
The second topic is disposition of remains. This is often difficult for many people to discuss, but is very important. Among the things to consider are cremation, burial, entombment in a mausoleum, and public or private viewing. Your funeral director will guide you through the many choices.
The third topic is merchandise. This includes caskets, vaults, liners, and cremation urns. Your funeral director can even provide burial clothes if you choose.
The fourth topic that should be discussed is the issue of notices. You'll need to discuss information to be included in your obituary notice. Also, consider if you wish flowers to be sent to your funeral or if you'd like a memorial to be established.
The fifth and final topic is pre-funding.
Things you should consider when reviewing how to pre-fund are your personal current and future financial situation and the various pre-financing options available to you.
An option that many people choose is purchasing an insurance policy. National Guardian Life Insurance Company has many pre-funding options to help you find the best way to prepay for your arrangements without necessarily incurring large upfront costs.
If you do decide to pre-plan your funeral arrangements, remember these questions. Ask about your options to change the plan in the future in case you move to a new location, or if you change your mind about certain details.
And make sure you understand all the costs involved. Pre-planning makes a lot of sense to be remembered the way you want to be remembered.
And a chance for your loved ones to truly celebrate your life.
Hi, Mr. Edward. That was a very informative video. Thank you for sharing that with us. I'm going to go back to this PowerPoint presentation and we're going to have it slow down to where you can break it down for us. And we'll put you on this slide right here and you go from there.
Yeah, so one of the things that we do when we do come together for families and we're sitting down either in their home or at the funeral home or the cemetery or on Zoom, what we like to do is to make sure that people understand that we need to know in advance before a death occurs. So we ask this very stimulating question, but reality question. If there was a death in your family yesterday, what would you be doing today? Meaning that someone passed, now we need to walk a family through how they want to celebrate the life of the honoree. So some people have never had this conversation. So this is where we like to start, especially if I'm sitting with a husband and wife. most husbands and wives have never had the conversation. They don't know how their spouse want to be laid to rest. Or if there's a single person who's never married or they're a widow now, they've never had that conversation. So we always like to start, say that today you passed away or someone in your family passed away, whether it's a spouse or a child, how would you want to lay them to rest? So this conversation is very important on how we go through and handle the information, because it gives us a very concise and understanding of what you would want and how you would want it. So that's where we start. This page, what we talk about, will let us know if they want a traditional funeral service with a viewing in a service either at their place of worship, at a funeral home, or at another location, because now you can have it anywhere. It doesn't have to be at one spot. We create all kinds of arrangements. So there's two things I want everybody to be aware of. The funeral home is everything that touch the human remains. We do the removal, we dress the body, we embalm the body, all that's done with the funeral side. The cemetery side is the final resting place of the human remains. Whether you're going to go, we have different areas. You can go interment, which is in the earth. Okay, in the earth, interment. You can go above the ground, which is entombment, being buried above the ground, entombment. Or you could be what they call cremated, and that's inurnment. So you got interment, earth, entombment, mausoleum, wall, inurnment, cremation, urn, or niche. Now, one of the things they tell us right now, over 5 million cremated remains are in homes of people. And I will say to you, your home is not a final resting place for your loved one. So one of the things I will do as we do these different things to give you different options. So let's move to the next slide, which we're going to talk about what happens within the first 24 to 36 hours after a death occurs. And I'm just going to move through this pretty rapidly, and then I'm going to go through our planning guide. So next slide, what happens within this slide right here, who makes these decisions? Cemetery and funeral records reveal that when a purchase is made at the time of a death, so remember that, the arrangements are normally made by a surviving spouse and or their children. So for us husbands out here, 7 out of 10 times, we're going to pass away first. We do not want to leave our wives and children to make these decisions. Mama D, we're located nationwide. One call arranges all. Wherever you are, we can help you. It's okay. You let us know what area you're in, and we have a funeral home or cemetery where we can help you in that particular area or state or country, because we also work with other countries too. So thank you. Great question here. Also, very important when you talk about the arrangements, we want to keep our wives and our children or our relatives out of harm's way. We don't want them doing this on the day that they lose their loved one. So that's very important. So I always say this. We know that when someone passes, there's going to be emotion. We all know that's reality. But there's also another E that exists called economics. I don't know what the economic situation of families are going to be when a death occurs. We don't know that. But we know there's going to be economics involved. So I always say to families, I'm going to say to you today, worldwide, do not leave your family with the bill. Leave them with the will. So much more important. Protect yourself. Protect your family. GoFundMe, crowdfunding, asking people to borrow money on the day that you lost your loved one is a very difficult thing. So I always suggest to people, have the talk of a lifetime, have these necessary conversations, and it's food for thought. And let me share this with you. There's nothing wrong with planning in advance and funding it in advance. Next slide. So I'm going to share with you here, this is what I was talking about when we talk about right here, within the first 24 to 36 hours, there are 49 decisions that must be done. Now, unfortunately, most people are making these decisions in the middle of a crisis. The worst day of their life, they're trying to make decisions, and we all know it's very difficult to make decisions in the middle of a crisis. Our emotions off the chart, we don't know what to do, we don't know where to turn. But on this day, you have to come up with all these documents and vital statistics and birth certificates, Social Security, mother and father's maiden name, a lot of time. Then we got to go through, talk about the arrangements we talked about earlier. What type of ceremony we're going to have. Are we going to be buried above the ground, below the ground? Are there going to be a cremation service? And then the final resting place, a cemetery. Are we going to place the body there in a mausoleum, a crypt? Are we going to send cremated remains into space? Are we going to make the cremated remains into a diamond? Are we going to put cremated remains in the ocean? What are we going to do? Because see, that's the final resting place. A lot of people don't know all their options. So we got a lot of things that we'll be discussing as we move forward.
I got a question for you because you said something
Go ahead,
about not leaving a bill. You want to leave the family with a will. So two things.
Yes.
This is a two-part question. What if you cannot? What if you did not have? I guess it's life insurance. Do you have to have life insurance to do this, or is this a separate policy? What is this?
This is separate. So that's a great question, tall boy. A lot of families today were instructed by their life insurance agent to purchase life insurance. But remember, life insurance is not tied to the local funeral home, nor the local cemetery, nor the local crematory. It's life insurance. And what happens is life insurance was designed to create an immediate estate. That's what it's designed for. And that money goes to the beneficiary. That's what it's for. So the beneficiary, they do whatever they want with the money. Hopefully, they would take care of the wishes of the person that left them the money. But a lot of times that doesn't happen. But when you do advanced funeral planning or advanced cemetery planning, you're doing that with the local funeral home and the local cemetery, completely separate policy, just like we call the big four. People have homeowner insurance, people have medical insurance, people have auto insurance, and people have life insurance. That's the big four. People do not plan for their funeral, nor their cemetery, nor their cremation advance, which is a separate item, but it's still part of the whole umbrella.
So
That's
basically, this is a separate bill, is what you're saying, and you
Yes.
still got to pay this at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
actually, this is the bill everybody pays, whether you want to or not. See, because some people tell me the two things you don't get away from: death and taxes. I said some people shelter their money; they still get away from some taxes, but death, none of it can shelter that.
As my sound effect says. Yeah, you're right. All right, go ahead and go back to your. You want to go back to continue what you were saying?
No, now we're going to pull up the planning guide. Remember the planning guide, the individual planning guide we sent you yesterday? The memorial planning guide.
Is this the flip book you're talking about?
Nice picture on the flower, the planning guide.
No,
I
you
have
were
to-
supposed to. Yeah, you were supposed to pull
Yeah.
that up.
I'll
But
do that.
you still
one.
had some
I'll
more
share-
on the slide. You still had more on the slideshow, right?
No, that was done. I got more, but I'll come back to it.
Okay, you're gonna have to.
I'll
Share
share my
you-
screen first.
There you go.
So just scroll down a little bit. So this is our gift to the family. We have every type. This is a little quote for right there. Stop, slow down, go back. That's right. So it says, we hope the memorial planning guide will help you ease the difficulty associated with planning one of life eventualities. You heard what I said, one of life eventualities. Within this booklet, you can go through and plan all of your details, all necessary information, all the way down to the flowers, to the type of clothes you want, everything. We present these booklets free of charge. So anybody who wants to have a free consultation, we just want to make sure you're ready to at least have a discussion or begin the discussion. So go ahead and scroll down. This booklet will be, so it's a complete memorial planning guide. So we have a guide for, go back up to husband and wife right here. So it could be for husband and wife or an individual. And it's courtesy of your local funeral home, your local cemetery, and the funeral director or family service counselor you'll be meeting with at the time. Go ahead and scroll down now. And this is the table of contents. I'm just going to go through the table of contents so you can see what's in here. Husband and wife vital statistics, wife vital statistics, funeral instruction, wife's funeral instruction, the memorialization, that's the cemetery page. How do you want to be memorialized? How do you want to be that? Big word, but really, what is going to be your final resting place? All your children, organizations, people to be notified. What about your medical history? The estate information, your will, your trust, all your banking information, if you own a home. What about all your insurances? $980 million went unclaimed last year. There's a place here for you to write your own obituary. And I always recommend people to do this. Sit down now, no matter what age you are, sit down now and see if you can write your own eulogy. And see right now, just look over your life, see if you can do that. You'll be amazed how much it works on you and for you. So those are the kind of things that we look at. Then we talk about any special instructions. Like we do a lot of funerals in New Orleans. They want a jazz funeral. We have one in St. Louis where they have Big Mama's Kitchen. They also have the Super Bowl room. Some people want to have it. I'm in California. Some people want to have their services right on the ocean. Okay. They have it right there and we do it. Okay, military points. Some people have military honors. We do those things. Those are special instructions. And then certified copy of death certificate, your Social Security, your veteran benefits. Thank you so much if you served our country. The truth about the living trust and the importance of a will. That right there is this whole book. And if you just scroll down now, you don't have to stop at the pages. See, so you can see it's all fillable. This is the tech side, the technology side. So now these booklets just used to be in printed form, but now we can actually go through it with you and then email it to you so you can complete it. And then you can also email it to your children, your next of kin, your executor, and they have all the information necessary of how you want your service to be after we've already gone through it and done it. Your medical history, estate planning. So this booklet covers 95% of everything that must be done before a death occurs. So you can see these booklets really help us have a conversation about your life so that we want to make sure it's all done. Now, we call this the Memorial Planning Guide. The reason why it's a memorial of your life. The memorial of your life is planning done in advance, and then it guides the funeral home, the cemetery, the crematory, and your family on exactly what your wishes are. This is our Memorial Planning Guide.
Now, all of this sounds. Now, stop. You got to stop sharing your screen so I can get you back on here. But all of this sounds nice. The young people are gonna be like, I think I'm invincible, right? And
I'm back.
And the middle-aged people, they're like, I hear what you're saying, but everything comes with a fee. When we start talking about money, what are we talking about on a low end, middle tier, and high end as far as this service here?
It depends on every family. The average funeral today, cremation services, all that's about $5,500 and above, just depending on what a family wants. But they can pay that over time. The total amount, I mean, obviously, you have caskets. One casket, $5,500. It just depends on what every family wants. We always say every family has a right to say no to the very best, but they have to be presented the very best. I don't know what families want, so we have a conversation about what they want, but we present them everything so they can make their own choice. I do not make a choice for a family. I explain to them there's 6 ways that you can be laid to rest. On the burial side, there's a traditional funeral, there's a graveside service, and then what we call immediate burial. Those are 3 things for full body. Traditional funeral, where there's going to be a viewing and a service. Then there's a graveside service where there's no viewing, there's no service of the human remains or the honoree, and then there's immediate burial. On the cremation side, there's a traditional cremation where the body is present. At the end of that ceremony, we cremate the body, and then those remains are placed in the cemetery. They're made into a diamond. They go into space. They go in the water, ocean, as eternal reefs. There's all different ways that you could do that. Then we have a memorial service on the cremation side, which is body not present. We have a nice photo, flowers. The urn could be present there or not. And then we have direct cremation. There's only 6 different types of services. And I've been doing this for 36 years, and those 6 are not going to change. Those are the things that families can do. And each one of them come with a different price point depending on what the family wants.
You got a question over here from Mama D, and let me see if I get that over there on the screen. She says, can this override a power of attorney if I'm in my right mind right now?
It doesn't override it, but the difference is because if you do your arrangements yourself, then you can make your arrangements irrevocable, and a power of attorney can't touch this at all. Because all this is right here is you making your own arrangement with the local cemetery, and we have to honor your arrangements because you did it for yourself. That's the most important thing you got to understand. Too many people don't understand that, and that's the difference. Yeah. Yes, the casket can be, the casket, we call it a ceremonial casket, is rented for the cremation ceremony. And that's the beauty. That's a great question there, Lisa Marie. It can be rented, but we call it a ceremonial casket versus a rented casket because people don't like the term. It's ceremonial casket, but it is, I use your layman's term, a rented casket. Excellent topic of discussion for the night. This is a great business to get into. Yes, that's Sean. Yeah, you're correct, Mr. James. It is. That's another thing. Since he did bring that up, most people don't think of death care. I've been doing this 35 years. So if you do, you have children, people who don't have any direction, that they don't know what they want to do, They can go to mortuary science school. They can work in the local cemetery. They can become a cremation tech and learn how to do cremation. They can do removals. I'm talking about everything because I want everybody to understand this, whether we like it or not. We all participate in this in life. But one thing I also want, why not get in something that's not going to go away, but you want to take care of your family? That, and I understand some people can't think about it, but at the same time, it's important. And I always tell people this: I get two ways. I get deposit in my emotional bank account because I help families every day, and I get deposited in my natural bank account. But what I do to make a living is not who I am. I get to serve people every day. I get to help people get their first step back to normalcy. So I want you to hear me. Death is an event that happens in life. It doesn't have to be an event that happens to life. Every event only happens once. We live every day. We only die once. So it's better to have it than to need it.
Now
So
you were saying
let's go
something.
back to
Now you were saying something about a person can get cremated and be put in a diamond, or they can go into space
yes,
earlier. What do you mean by
yes,
that?
sir.
I thought I had a video for it, but I don't see it.
Yeah.
Can you
We do have
explain
a
it?
video for it. Yeah, I explained to him what we could do for the diamond. We take the cremated remains and we can make that into a certified diamond for a family, so they can carry their mom, their dad, their child around with. If they want to have a piece of jewelry, we can make it to a ring, make it to a pendant, anything. And a certified diamond carbon. Our bone fragments is carbon to help us make it that way. So that's a really good thing for you to know. If you
Do
want
you
to see
know?
your,
Would you happen to know what the name of that video was off the top of your head, to where I can
yeah,
try and see
life
if I can
gems, life gems, life
that
gems.
Life Gems on YouTube?
Yeah, life gems is a real short video. Life
So
gems.
you keep going, and I'm gonna see if I can
Yeah.
find this diamond video
So
because
life gems is one. Then we have Memorial Space Flight, which is Celestial Memorial Space Flight. We send up cremated remains into space every year, 4 times a year, Memorial Space Flight. And then we also have Eternal Reefs, where you can actually lay your loved ones to rest in the ocean, a reef ball, which we call them. And there's also other ways that you can do with cremated remains. We have keepsakes and things of that nature. So whatever way you want to celebrate your life, people still like to be buried in a mausoleum, to rest in their own private mausoleum. But some people want to be cremated, and that's their choice. We facilitate what people want, not do it. We just facilitate it. So that's very important.
okay.
So
I you said now you had something about flip books, or is there something else in the training
Why
program
don't you
that you wanted to
go?
show?
Yeah, we got a little time here. Why don't we go to back to the PowerPoint real quick? Let's finish those pages, and then we go right to the flip book, and that'll be the last part that we do, so they know what the deliverable will be. Next page of this. I'm just going to fly through these real quick. So to be remembered, our natural human needs. It's a celebration of life that's been lived. It's your final footprint on the earth. The Vietnam Wall, 58,000 people, Dr. King, the Taj Mahal, JFK, the Great Pyramids. My wife and I have been there. We also been to the Vietnam Wall. Princess Diana, where they said 1 billion people saw her services. When someone who's loved and respected is lost, there is need for a gathering. We want to make sure that when you pass away, your loved ones, your friends, your relatives will come and gather around to celebrate your life, not mourn your death. Next slide. Why do loving people pre-plan? Why do they do this? We insure ourselves against possible health issues, auto accidents, property damage, as well as replacement income for any dependents left behind. Death is inevitable. Shouldn't we have coverage to protect our loved ones from the emotional and financial toll our passing will have on them? So our research in the death care profession identifies 7 reasons for planning in advance. It puts your house in order. I know we all pass away. I tell people I'm going to pass away someday. You're going to pass away someday. Very important that we go through. Gives you peace of mind. You guys know this is very important. You plan it together. If you're a couple or if you're a family, you plan it together. It takes the burden off your loved ones. They do not have to do this on the day that death occurs, neither from the emotional standpoint. There's going to be emotion, but they don't have to worry about the economics because everything was paid for in advance. You avoid inflation. When you go to your local cemetery, your local funeral home, your local crematory, and you plan this in advance, The day you put down your initial investment, that freezes that cost, freezes it. So that's what you want to do. Avoid inflation. You don't have to worry about it going up because when you plan it, they allow you to pay it over time versus COD. What COD is in our profession, if death has occurred, you have no arrangement. It's called cash on death. When you pass away, they only have to take cash within 48 to 72 hours because it's very difficult for a funeral home or cemetery or crematory to do services without being compensated. That's all. No emotional overspending. This is very important. We don't want you to be.
Go ahead.
I'm
Finish
sorry?
your sentence. Finish your sentence.
We don't want people to have to emotionally overspend. A lot of times after someone passed, people spend more money than they have to because they're trying to make up for all the reasons they didn't talk about it before death occurred. And they said, we got to let daddy go out with a bang or let mama go. No. Guys, do this in advance. Do your own arrangements. Tell people what you would like. And if you want us to help you walk you through the talk of a lifetime or have these necessary conversations, or let us give you some food for thought. That's all. Tell you all your options. And then the last part is
no. So my question is, what if I start making payments and then something happens to me in the middle of me making payments? So let's just say my bill came up to $15,000 and I'm $8,000 in, and then something happens to me. What happens then? Does the company
that's
still
a good question. Very good question. What we do not do is, as long as you first day coverage, that means you had no health issues. Okay. And if you die while you're paying on it, we pay the balance automatically. We do not penalize people for planning in advance. I'm going to say it again. We do not penalize people for planning in advance. We're not going to come after your kids or your family because you chose to do that and you passed away in the middle of it. We're going to go ahead and forgive the debt. Okay. We're going to make sure the funeral homes still get paid and make sure you still get your final resting, your services. Okay. Now, if you do have a pre-existing illness, depending on what it is, there is a 2-year window. Okay. That means if you die 1 month to 12 months after you decided to plan your arrangements, 1 month to 12 months, we will take all the monthly investments you paid us plus 3%. All the monthly investment plus 3% for those 12 months. If you pass away the second year of that 15,000, if you die that whole second year, we'll pay 70% of that 15,000 the second year. 70% of it. So then the family would have to come with the balance. Okay? 24 months and 1 day for a person with a pre-existing illness will pay the whole balance off.
Look, everybody talking about this diamond over here in the comments. Let me show you, because Tallboy was over here working behind the scenes. So check out the diamond. It's less than a minute.
I work for the company that takes people or pets' ashes, these are human, and create diamonds from them. And this is how to grow a blue diamond. You take about a half cup of ashes, purify that to carbon, compress the loved one's carbon into a disc. The loved one's carbon disc is what actually becomes a diamond. Pick the perfect diamond seed. Layer on top of the diamond seed a piece of boron alloy. The boron is what makes a diamond blue. And then the loved one's carbon disc. The entire loved one's carbon is combined into a white salt tube that will be encapsulated in graphite to create the entire growth cell that can withstand extreme amounts of pressure and energy to grow the diamond. Place the cell into the press. Now wait. Extract the rough from the cell. Shape the rough. And that's how you grow a blue diamond. Leave a comment if you want to see how black diamonds are made.
There you go. You heard it live on Lab Tech. You heard it live on Lab Tech show. Listen, the Lab Tech, listen, this is the lab, man. This is where you're going to find out stuff that you never heard about. We're going to be bringing you other things, too, that you never heard about. Sending cremated remains in space, pottery pros, what you can do with all kinds of different things. We now can even take the tattoo off of people's body and create a nice picture of that tattoo for the family. Okay, so it's pretty powerful.
You see the question there?
They can't use
So can they use the diamonds that they already have? So if they already have a diamond, can they use one of their diamonds that they already have?
No. These diamonds are made out of cremated remains.
So you basically if once you transition your pet or yourself or a family member, they turn the diamond they make the diamond out of the remains, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
they
but you don't even have to
transition.
You don't even have to transition. You can do it now with just some hair. You can do it with your hair. They take a bunch of your hair, and they can still create a diamond for you now. Or you can wait till you pass away, and then they take your bone fragments and do it. So just depending on what a family wants.
Okay. They say swipe that credit card for the balance. I did. You can too.
Me,
I will
Mama
pass.
D.
I know about the diamond, but when someone rob you, where are your ashes at now? Says Mama did. Okay.
You guys are funny. The good part about it is, Tall Boy, we're having a conversation. Tall Boy, let's finish this last two slides and get to that flip book, and then we'll be out of here.
I like how he running the show, y'all.
Well,
Don't you
no,
see
no,
how he doing?
I'm running with you, man. You told me I want to keep it on point.
I got you. Okay, so let's get back to the slideshow. There you go, my man. It's all you.
So the next slide.
I got you.
This is what we see every day, guys, at our funeral homes, our cemeteries, crematory. People come in what we call the wrong way to make these decisions. There's a lot of grief, a lot of worry about the future. Now, remember, when you walk into the local funeral home, local cemetery, local crematory, we are meeting a stranger for the first time, and you're meeting a stranger for the first time. And we have to make a critical decision about your loved one. That situation is very unique for us because we do it every day. We want to serve you, but at the same time, because emotions and grief is so high, we got to walk very gently and use very much compassion. And we try to do that every day, and we do it well. Okay, people are pressed for time, and they respond with haste and family conflicts that we're not a part of, but they show up. Someone passed away, and now we're in the middle of a family conflict. Very difficult. People are alone and confused. Okay, Mr. Lynn, this is a true family mess. I know, Mama D. It's the truth. I've 36 years. Listen, I've been in some situations. Alone, confused, and uncertain about what's best is very serious. Now, look at the changes wrought by death are in themselves. They're so sharp and final and so terrible and melancholy in their consequences that the thing, death, stands alone in man's experience and has no parallel upon the earth. Death is a great equalizer. It changes people. Trust you me. Changes families. This is the right way, guys. I do thank you. I thank Lab Tech. I thank Tall Boy. I thank my avatar guy who was talking. TBJ. Thank you for giving us the opportunity and the privilege to present this
TBJ in the building. What's
There you go,
up?
TBJ.
Hey.
TBJ. When you plan your arrangements, you can relax knowing everything's taken care of in advance. Plus, you will make economically sound decisions because your emotions are at rest. You lock in future costs at today's prices. There's a measure between price and cost. Cost.
Hold up. You
is
said
what
you locked your price in, so today's price is not yesterday's price?
Exactly. Today's prices. See, what happens is people don't understand the difference between cost and price. Price is what it is today. When you don't take action, that's the cost. That's future. Like some people tell me, no, Edward, I'm not interested. And I said, I understand. But do you know the last two letters of the word interested is ED? If you're not educated, it will cost you interest. So you don't have to be interested in me. If you like interest, go for it. But if I can educate you, I can prevent the interest from coming to you. So don't always tell people you're not interested. At least hear them out so that you will know what you may not be aware of that exists. That's all. So try that for yourself.
No competition. These stay off. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Lin. I got you. I'm with you. You summoned me, so I pulled up on you, man.
You pulled up on me.
Okay,
So
we're going to go
now
back to
what
the
I'm
next
gonna do?
slide.
No, yeah, we're done here. So now you
you
can
about to wrap
put
up?
your head and not your heart. And this makes sense. Now I'm going to show you this is the deliverable. Who have you helped when you make arrangements? Who have you helped? Your school, the church people in your community, your office mates, your friends, family, your neighbors, hobbies. You protect them by protecting yourself in advance. Everything is done. So it makes a world of difference. That's the beauty of advanced planning. Okay. Now, after everything is done, 7 to 10 days after your service, we're going to bring you a nice booklet. So let me show you the booklet we're going to bring you. This is just a sample book. This is a booklet in memory of whoever that is. And you can see the eulogy. This is one of our funeral homes in Exquisite Family Mortuary. It's all laid out. Now, this book could be digital or hard copy. Everybody who signed in, slow down right here. They signed in digitally. So we get their email addresses, their phone numbers, if the family wants them. But now you have a record of everyone who came to the service. This is our deliverable to your family when we come and do what we call aftercare. And then we have another thing called after reach. After reach is the 17 things that must be done after death has occurred. These are the legal things. Aftercare deals with grief and mourning and making sure you get your first step back to normalcy. That's what this book is for. Keep on flipping here. I'm going to show you this last few things. And then if you have any questions, more. See how many people came to celebrate the life of this person? Look at all these tributes. These are tributes that people left. You can do tributes now on your phone so that families will get your expression. You can do this also online and stuff like that. That's the beauty of technology now. We can get you to share something instantly to the family. Okay? And next page. See more. And then at the end, you see, this is beautiful. And then flip one more, and it just shows you this would be all your pallbearers, the officiation, tell you the day you were laid to rest, where you are, where were you at the interment, where your remains end up. And then at the end of it also celebrates the funeral home that you work with on the last page. See, life is not measured by the number of breaths we take, but by the moments that take our breath away.
There you go.
This is the moment that takes our breath away, guys. Right now, this is the moment. Because we've had a conversation about something that most people don't. I commend each and every one of you for taking the time out to come to Lab Tech and hearing a necessary conversation, having food for thought, and really having the talk of a lifetime. Thank you so much, Tall Boy, for inviting me and allowing Legend Cemetery Funeral Services to be present.
Oh, it's all good, man. Now, once again, with this digital flip book, this is something that they can have. So it's not necessarily like the program. They can always have this as in an email. Is that correct? They can always have this on their, like they can have this in their email. They can send this out to as many people as they need to.
Yes.
You don't have to hide your wife. She over there. Just tell her we said hello. Tell her you live, though.
Yes.
Tell her to come on in here. Ask her. We got some questions for the missus. Tell her come on up in. She interrupted in the live show, so tell her come on in here. Hey, this is a real show. We in real time. Look at him. He talking. He got an answer to the missus. See, he got an answer to her.
Definitely. All right, guys. Because
so if people want to get in contact with you personally, how can they do that?
If they want to, they can actually go to Legend Cemetery Funeral Services, Legend Cemetery Funeral Services, or you can hit me on my Facebook page, Edward Lin 0827 Edward Lin. You can also go to my Instagram, Edward Lin 0827.
Okay, so you on Facebook and on IG. That's where you at.
Yes, Facebook, IG, YouTube, all of it.
So it's like all Edward Lin 0827. Edward Lin. All right, there it is at the bottom of the screen, guys. Edward Lin 0827.
And if you want to contact me by phone, 562-688-2365. Again,
hold up. Now, good, these people don't have no phone, no piece of paper, no pen. They watching on the telephone, so you got to give them a minute to get their phones out or get a piece of paper, Mr. Edward. Now, look, everybody, help me out. If you would like to take down his number, he sounds like he's giving you his personal number. If you are interested, why don't you pull out your phone, get a piece of paper, let me know in the comments when you're ready. He gonna give you the number because he's telling you the number, and y'all not ready. Now get ready because I'm giving you time to get your stuff ready, and then he gonna give you the number twice, and that way you can call him personally because he's saying, now is this a recorded line or this is your direct line? How we moving?
My direct line.
Oh,
one call arranges all.
Oh,
one call arranges all. Oh,
okay. So now make sure you tell them that Tall Boy sent you from the Lab Tech Show. And they saying that they ready now. Now they saying they ready. Okay, look at them. In the comment. Look, the comment say, I'm ready. I'm ready. You Lisa Maria said, I'll be ready. Come on. Let's say Mama D said, I'm ready. See, you got to give these people time. This is an adult audience. They don't be ready, Mr. Lin. Come on, man. I'm trying to break it down for you. All right, so go ahead and give them the number one more time.
562-688-2365. Again, 562-688-2365. One call arranges all.
Look at him. He had the acronyms and all. One call arranges all. Look at it. He practiced that all day, y'all. Look. Somebody said, "Hold up, I'm not ready. I'll replay it." No, we'll give you one more time. No, see now. If you're not ready, then you're not ready this time. See, I'm giving you time. I'm putting it on the comment, putting it on the screen. Now, by this time, you should be ready now. All right, one more time, Mr. Edward.
562-688-2365. 562-688-2365.
One call.
Arranges all.
What they say? Oh man, that's what's up, man.
All right.
It's the Lab Tech Show. Join us Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern at thelabtechshow.com. Embrace it or get left behind.
Alrighty then.